What's going on, everyone? This is a 2017 Honda Rebel 300. It is the bike that I learned on. Not this one, but one exactly like it. And this is my 2019 Yamaha XSR700. This is my current bike. I started on this one, and now I'm on this one. And this video is going to be about what to expect when you go from a 300 to a 700. Oh my god, it's been a while. It has been a long while since I've rode the Honda Rebel 300. Oh man, I forgot how much I have to shift. Oh, but I also forgot just how fun these little displacement bikes can be. Yep, Honda. Come on, Honda. What's up with your turn signals? You know what? But I still say that this is a fantastic motorcycle. I still freaking love it. That's why I wanted to come back to it and do this sort of video. You don't really see very many videos telling you what to expect whenever you upgrade your motorcycle. And being someone who just recently, well, last year, upgraded my motorcycle, I feel like I'm in a good spot where I can kind of talk about it and give you guys some information. Oh man, I am so low to the ground. It feels so weird to be so low. You know, you should expect on a small displacement motorcycle is that you are going to have like a very approachable seat height and easy to put your foot down. You know, nothing here is going to scare you or frighten you. And if you do get scared, you can just, boom, put your feet down. Yeah, when I was looking at upgrading bikes, the first thing I began realizing was just how much taller, how much higher I sit on the XSR700 than I do on the Rebel 300. That was the most glaring thing when I first bought the XSR700, that I was just like, wow, that's a substantial difference there. I feel like I'm kind of lording over traffic because I'm so much higher. I can see above all the cars in front of me, whereas on the Rebel, I really couldn't do that. I had to, you know, I was kind of sitting below in the bike. You know, there was no seeing beyond anyone. Definitely no seeing beyond anyone. And the second thing I'm automatically remembering is just how hard you have to work to get this bike to perform, to do anything. It's so funny. You really have to spin the bike up in order to get it moving in first gear. It's like, I'm going 26 miles an hour. and the engine is screaming at me. Watch how much throttle I have to give just to get going on this bike. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, baby, oh yeah. And woo, just having fun. Sorry guys. So on the city streets, or on the side streets around here, you know, I can't ride the way that I used to ride the Rebel. Now, if I did that, you know, I'd be suicidal. When on the Rebel, I used to twist the wrist like that. You know, I was wringing the hell out of the throttle. On this, it's more like, You know, it's not really a funny thing, like, because I kind of had to unlearn the way that I had been riding the Rebel. Like, I was not riding the Rebel the right way. I was riding it the way that was fun for me, because I was always trying to get a little bit more, just a little bit more speed, a little bit more oomph out of the Rebel. And I got to the point where there just was nothing left in the Rebel that it had for me. I'm getting on the highway now because you saw what, you know, the throttle was like on the Rebel 300. And I can't do that on public streets. I can do that here though. So if I were to ride the way I ride on the Rebel 300 on this bike, I'm gonna get myself into trouble, or hurt myself, or hurt someone else. But on the highway, woo! Oh man, that never gets old. It never freaking gets old. What was I saying? Yeah. So on this bike, you have to be a lot more careful. And another interesting thing is that, at least on this 300, you know, the brakes, they feel a little, well, not so like responsive. They're not uber responsive. I mean, they work good. They work really well. Yeah, on my 700, I'm definitely noticing that the brakes are a lot grabbier, more response back in through my fingers. So even though the XSR700 actually has the exact same Nissan brakes, braking is actually so much easier on the XSR700. Now it has two things that are going for it. In the front, it has dual rotors, and so that just kind of helps with adding a little bit more stopping power to the bike. And it needs it because it's got a lot more power too. The other thing is that it has ABS. I wish you could turn it off, especially on the rear, because I always enjoyed sliding the rear on the Honda Rebel. But all in all, the front brakes especially, they just have more bite and more power, so you don't really feel like you have to crunch on the brakes ever, because there's plenty of stopping power there, and that's a big difference. Oh, gotta stop. Ooh, nice and smooth. Oh, nice. The other thing I'm noticing is that this is like a really, really small motorcycle. Like, I never thought that the Rebel was that small, but when I'm sitting on it right now, I feel how small it is all of a sudden. I forget what my buddy Anthony told me, but he said that when he saw me on the Rebel, I looked like a bear humping a football. Thank you, Anthony. And then you begin to notice, like, oh wow, the length of the bike. Like, whereas before, like, I felt like everything was just like compact and right there, and now everything is like, it's pushed forward, it's longer, it has more substantial feel to it. And when I first sat on the XSR, I was like, wow, this is like a big bike. Like, it just felt bigger, it felt heavier. Oh, that's another thing. The weight of the motorcycle. You know, a 700 is normally, you know, it's going to be a slightly larger bike, and it is going to be heavier, and you're going to feel that weight. You know, the tank is going to be a little bit larger. Everything is just a little bit bigger, and bigger is better. Size matters. You know, this bike is not a very heavy bike by any means. I'll put the weight of it up here, but you know, it feels more substantial. Everything kind of, the build quality, I would say, just has a little higher level of build quality, and it should, because this is a more substantial motorcycle. It is more expensive. It's more stylized than the Rebel. I hate to say it, but it is. And then there is the, what is the saying, elephant in the room? Or is it a monkey in the room? I prefer monkey. I mean, because what would a monkey be doing in a room, right? Or what would an elephant be doing in a room? That's the whole point. Get out of the room, elephant and monkey. And that thing is insurance. On the Honda Rebel, the insurance was super affordable. Even when I first started riding, as a beginning rider, I think for the entire year, it was a little over $200. And every year I had the Rebel, the insurance would go down. At the time that I was selling my bike, I had to renew my insurance, and they were asking me to pay, I think, maybe $150 for full coverage insurance. I mean, I don't have to tell you guys that that's very affordable insurance. Now, if we compare it to the XSR700, things get different. For full coverage on the XSR700, it is $695 a year. So, you know, not that bad. Not that bad at all, actually. And, you know, a lot of factors go into that. Are you taking, you know, riding courses, your driving history, or in our case, the riding history. I love doing that. And it also matters where you're riding the most. Of course, I'm living here in New York City, and, you know, should be cray-cray over here. And bikes get stolen a lot here, so insurance is naturally just going to be a little bit more expensive. So don't expect what I pay for my insurance to be exactly what you're going to be paying wherever you are, or if you're another XSR700 rider living here in New York City, it might not be the same. What's going down, brother? Woo. Nice. That is a killer bike, bro. That's awesome. You don't see like Honda Furies out there very often, but when you do, you stop and you take notice. That's a nice bike, bro. I love it. And that is the last thing I will talk about, is the level of respect you get whenever you are riding the 700, it's so much higher than whenever you're riding the 300. I mean, look, when you're on the 300, people will stop and be like, oh, yeah. They're automatically going to recognize that it's a 300. And they're going to be like, yeah, well, welcome to the club. You know, one day you'll have a real bike. And that's kind of just the way it's going to be for a little bit. And when you're on your new bike, you know, people are going to stop. People are going to be like, hey, that's a cool bike. I like your bike. You're going to get a lot more compliments. People are actually going to stop and take notice of what you're riding. The sound is going to be just immaculate, especially on my bike. I mean, it sounds pretty amazing. And that brings me to the end. That's all I can really think of off the top of my head, the differences between the two bikes that I've owned. The big thing is on the Rebel 300, ride it till you freaking just can't stand it anymore. Just learn everything you possibly can on that motorcycle and then go from there. These people that tell you like 3 weeks you're gonna want another bike, I rode it for almost 3 years, so you know, if you're bored on a motorcycle, then something's wrong with you, not the bike. And until then, everyone, yeah, I love you guys. Hope you have a good one, and I'll see you on the next video.